Go ahead.
Alright guys, this is Bret watching from Total Justice Gaming, here with my top 8 deck list for the Chaos. Chaos is really powerful this meta. It's really aggressive, beat down on people really quickly, and it got me to top 8, but yeah. So first off is Buddy is Osiris, just a free cheap call, something you usually want to get at during your games. Just really good, gauge and draw. First card we have is 4, Ruler of Chaos, Gear God 7. Then pay 2 gauge to call it. During the start of any battle phase, be it yours or your opponent's, you can call a card from your hand without paying a call cost. Chaos Drain, if it would be removed from the field, just kill a size 3 or lower, it stays on the field. Chaos Territory, it can have an extra monster in the center if it's in the center. Basically, this is your main card that you want on the field at all times. Just because you need that aggression of 4 attacks per turn, and the free call cost is just amazing thing to have. It's one of the ways you really will accelerate the deck. Next we have 4, the Manufactured Havoc, Gear God 7. This is the trial deck version of Gear God. Pay 2 gauge and put up to 2 cards from the field into its soul. When it enters the field, you can call a Chaos monster from the drop zone by paying its call cost. And it also has Soul Guard and the Chaos Territory, so it also can have 4 monsters on the field. This is really good when comboed with the old Gear God, because during your turn, or during the start of battle, you use this ability, call him for free, call another monster from the drop zone, gain all that advantage, all that defense, or really just accelerate the deck with a lot of your draw monsters and deck thinning. Also, the power and crit is really devastating with these two. Let's play 4 of our Buddy, Chaos Osiris. When it's called to the left or right, if you have a monster in the center, you gauge 1 and draw. So yeah, a really good card to have to play on the field, just to accelerate your deck, get your costs up, keep your hand full. Really good card to call with the trial deck Gear God if you're just wanting to dig in your deck for defensive cards. Next we play 4 Chaos Daryl Barrick. When he's called to the field, you look at the top 3 cards of the deck, add 1 to your hand, put the rest into your drop zone. This is basically your main search engine, because not only do you add another card to your hand by calling him, you also get cards in your drop zone which can be searched by your other cards or called by the trial deck Gear God. And he's just really powerful to keep playing turn by turn. Just being able to thin your deck that much is amazing. Alright, we play 3 Chaos Ideal Diabolos. Put the top 2 cards of your deck into this card's soul and pay 3 gauge, although more than likely you're not going to be paying that cost because of its second ability. If this card has no soul, it gains plus 2,000, and an extra critical, and it cannot be destroyed or bounced back to the hand. But it also has triple attack, Soul Guard, and Life Thing 3. This is your main rush card, or even just crowd control, because the triple attack is just so strong. Like, triple attack with 2 critical is okay on its own right, but when you have 3 other monsters that also attack, it can be basically devastating, and they can't kill it by effects when it's out of soul, so they have to destroy it by an attack. You get 2 of these out on the field during your battle phase, and it's just going to wreck your opponent's hand or just their life in general. Let's play 2 Chaos Tartaros. Put the top card of your deck into this card's soul and pay a gauge. Again, you probably won't be using that because of the Gear God, but it's a good first turn if you don't get your Gear Gods. Counter speed, choose a monster on your opponent's field and discard a card from your hand to destroy that monster. This is a really good card for counter-sniping, hitting monsters that would be troublesome, although it does reduce your already limited hand size, so I never really saw too much play with that, but when it did come up, it actually helped a lot. For the heavy hitters, we play 2 Chaos Hadeth, call cost of 5 gauge. Again, this is like the main card to only call with the Gear God ability because of that cost, but it also has Penetrate, Double Attack, and a lifelink of 3. Now, with the 3 critical, the Double Attack is already devastating, but the main reason you run this card is because of the Penetrate, because you face a lot of decks that put monsters in the center to protect against your attacks. That Penetrate will just go right through them. Even if you're just facing Prison Dragons, the fact that he has enough power to break through Prison Dragon defenses already is good enough. For the more utility monsters, we play 4 Chaos Aquario. When this card enters the field, put cards from the top of your deck into your gauge equal to the number of other monsters. So you play this on an already full field with the Gear God, you get 3 gauge. More than likely you're going to be using that gauge to just try to call more Gear Gods, or maybe even Ideal Diablos with the 2 Soul. Well, it's really good for just keeping your gauge up because of all the cards that use them. We play 3 Chaos Guardian. When this card enters left or right, if you have a monster in the center, destroy a monster on the opponent's field. Again, another great counter-sniping card, because if you play this while you have Gear God on the field, on your opponent's turn, you just play it on the field, snipe one of your opponent's monsters before it can even attack. Or basically, if there's a troublesome bots on their field, you can play this during your turn, automatically snipe it. And it's really good for crowd control. We play 2 Chaos Saiketsu. When this card enters the field, you may discard a card from your hand to gauge and draw a card. This is good for hand filtering and getting a little bit of extra gauge. If you have cards that just aren't going to work or can just be searched back out later, you can discard them to gain another card, and that just helps a lot. And finally, the last monster, I take in 1 Inverse Second Omni Demon Lord, Death Osmodai. Call cost of 2 gauge. When this card is destroyed, put the top cards of your deck back into the drop zone, and then call up to 3 monsters among them without paying the call cost. That's really good because although you can't call him with Gear God 7's ability, since he's not a Chaos monster, his protection ability, Chaos Drain, still activates just by killing a size 3. So you run through the other 2 monsters on your field, then you kill Death Osmodai, you mill the top 3, possibly get 3 more monsters back. So this deck is mostly monsters anyway. You're going to hit at least 2 that you can just call for free. There have been plays where I just didn't have anything on the field, so I just called Osmodai to the center. I milled 3 and got so much advantage out of it, and it's just worked so well with this card. Alright, now for spells. We play 4 A Ruler's Privilege. You can only cast this card if you have 3 size 3 or greater monsters on your field. You can either search for a card in your drop zone and add to your hand as long as it's not a Ruler's Privilege, or you can counter speed and stand a size 3 or greater monster. This is a great aggression card, but also your main source of toolboxing. If there's a card that you really want in your hand, or that you really just want for the attack phase, you can just play this card, having 3 monsters on the field, add it back to your hand. There have been many times where I've had this card in my hand and I thought about using and get for restand, but then I'm like, oh, I have Ideal Diablos in my drop zone. So instead of that, I'm just going to add Ideal Diablos to hand and get a triple attack instead of just restanding 1 card. and it all depends on what the situation is, but this card is good in so many different situations that it just has to be a 4 of. Next we play 4 Chaos Wall, Barrier of Havoc. You can only cast this during an opponent's attack and you have 2 or more Chaos monsters on your field. Nullify the attack and put the top card of the deck into the gauge. Standard nullify card, although the 2 Chaos monsters on the field is a bit touchy. The gauge is worth it, but I'd say that if you're not really looking for gauge, just use the one from the trial deck, but this is also 4 of just staple. Next we play 4 One Who Comes from Havoc. You can only cast this if you have 2 or more Chaos monsters on the field, pay 1 gauge, draw 2 cards. Now, since you start out with 4 cards, this is basically a 4 of, because you just need that card acceleration. Keep adding cards to your hand and call for the Gear God. And like the once per turn thing isn't too bad. Just starting off with this card will accelerate your deck so much. Next we play 3 Launch the Auto Deity. You can put up to 1 size 30 or greater monster from your deck into your hand. We only play 3 right now because you want to minimize the number of spells that we have because of our monster engine. But this is how you search out your Gear God 7 that you need, or if you just want a deck thin, you can search out the trial deck Gear God and set up for those combos. Really great card to have. And finally, last 2 spells, Electrification. Only cast this if you have 4 more monsters on the field. Put the top card of your deck into the gauge, gain a life, and draw 2 cards. Again, this is a really good draw card, but its main flaw is that you have to have 4 monsters on the field. I've rarely been able to see the 4 monsters on the field before the attack phase, so this is a very niche card. That's why we only play 2 of them, but it's still a really good acceleration if you can get it off. And that's it for the main deck. Now we got the side deck. We play 2 Merciless Pressure. Discard a size 3 or greater monster from your hand to destroy a card on your opponent's field. This is decent for getting rid of annoying set spells or just or annoying items or anything that really bothers you in the matchup. I really had to use this because the matchups didn't really call for me to destroy anything, but it's definitely a decent backup. We play 2 Ruin of the Enemy. You can only cast this if you have 4 or more monsters on your field. You can either destroy all monsters on your opponent's field or destroy all items and spells. It's basically like Merciless Pressure and Electrification, but again, the downside is that you have to have 4 more monsters, which during your main phase you're not going to see too often in this deck, unless you're really, really persistent about it. But it's definitely a decent field wipe card, hard to help. So you play 2 Rejection Crisis. You can only play this if you have a card with Chaos on the field. It's basically a Black Dragon Shield, reduce damage to 0 and gain a life. This is decent against cards that use Penetrate or use effect damage. I never really saw a place to use this because, again, the aggression in this deck is so well that you don't really care about how much damage you're taking. So it can be a decent backup just in case. Play 1 extra Chaos Tartarus. If you need that extra counter sniping to get rid of annoying monsters on the field, then just taking in 1 or 2 of these guys extra is really decent. I don't really enjoy using them as much because of the discard, but it's still a good backup for if you don't get your Gear Gods and such. And finally, we play 2 Forced Global Shutdowns. You can only cast this if your opponent has 5 life or less, pay 2 gauge, deal damage equal to the critical in your center. So most of the time you're going to have at least 5 critical with the Gear God and whatever other monster you have in the center. This is a decent finishing impact since there's no field requirement other than cards in your center. There's no limit to how many times you have to attack. It's just a straight up 5 damage, and although you can't, or they can reduce the damage, it's still a quick kill if you need it. Yeah, that's basically it. That's it for this Chaos deck. Thank you for watching.